Hola everybody, welcome back to my channel. Kind of just got like scrambled bullet points of some things that might help you guys dealing with isolation. I just want to like help you guys keep sane during this time. I know for myself, like I'm running out of series to watch, I'm running out of story times to watch, and for myself and like a homebody person, I love to stay at home. I spend 6 days out of the week like at home, and like the one day that I go out is probably to see my friend Sunny, and like all the other times I go out is to like go to the post office and run my errands usually. So I generally do like keep to myself and spend most of my time at home because I don't have like a typical type of job. I make most of my money online doing stuff from home. I've already got like my home routine, and I realize that it's a lot different for other people who have gotten used to like working like Monday to Friday 9 to 5. Now all of a sudden their whole life is kind of changed because, you know, losing their job, or, you know, businesses not being able to run because of the whole Kelowna thing. And so my first point here is you are not your thoughts. When we get stuck in our own head, in our own place, we start to think that we are our thoughts. And if I was my thoughts, like I would be a murderer, like I would be a really terrible person. And sometimes it's hard because I beat myself up over the thoughts I have, and sometimes I have to like hit my head and be like, oh my god, don't think about that stuff, like don't think about that stuff. This is a reminder to be like, even though you think about all these negative things, even sometimes you may think about, you know, hurting yourself, killing yourself, like all those type of like negative thoughts you have, you are not those thoughts. Fuck, who the fuck's calling me? And then I remember times where like my parents were mean to me and I was like, damn, like fuck, like I hate like my parents or whatever. And then when one of them would get sick, I'd be like, why did I think that? Like it's my fault, like the reason they're sick is because I thought those negative thoughts about them. No, that's not true. And just because you think these things doesn't mean that you are your thoughts, but you decide to act differently, that means you aren't your thoughts. So don't be so hard on yourself during this time. Like we are all stuck in our own head, stuck in our own mind, you know. You can definitely change the way you think. All of us have this like conditioned mindset that we were all like raised to have, and you can change the way you think. I remember, for example, when I was young, I had a teacher be like, oh, people who have tattoos, people who have piercings, people who like wear gothic kind of clothing. This is when I was really young. Like those people, stay away from them, they're bad influences. Obviously this teacher didn't know any better, and kind of dumb for a teacher to kind of been pushing their own like agenda and their own prejudice on their young kids. Like I was in year 1, and I remember thinking like, if you have tattoos, that means you don't have money, that means you are in gangs, that means that you're not a good person. And then I remember when my eldest sister, Sina, she got a tattoo at like the age of 16. I changed the way I thought about it. My oldest sister, she is an absolute inspiration to me. Like to this day, she's one person I really look up to. I love her mindset. Like she's the kill them with kindness kind of person. Like I've only seen her raise her voice once, and it was still in the most kindest way. I remember when she got a tattoo, and I was like thinking in my head, I was like, that doesn't change the way I think of her. And I remember she got her belly button pierced, and I was like, she's not stupid, she's not in a gang, she's not a bad person, she's not scary. Even though like I was so young when I came to these realizations, like these are the realizations we should make to this day. If you have some type of like solid mindset or something, ask yourself like why. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like ask yourself, why do you think this way? Like even growing up in an Asian country, like I remember in a few countries I was in, they liked my sibling more because they were white and I was brown, so I was the ugly sibling. I just remember feeling terrible and wanting my skin to be white, wearing powder that was a lot whiter than me. Even when I was younger in these Asian schools, like I obviously wasn't allowed to wear makeup, so I would get like baby powder and I would put it on my face because I wanted to be whiter, because in Asian cultures white is beautiful. And then I had to step back and realize, why is white beautiful in Asian cultures? And after doing some research and talking to other people, I realized in some Asian cultures, you know, being white means that you work inside, means you make more money. You know, if you're a farmer, you don't make as much money, you work outside, you get tan, you get really brown. And so all the queens and the princesses, they were all quite white because they didn't have to go outside to work. So to them, what they want is money. Like everyone wants money, everyone wants a rich partner, everybody is doing stuff for money. And so of course in their heads, it's kind of ingrained into them that like, oh, if you're white, you're considered, you know, rich, you're considered well off, like your family is well off. And then I thought about it the other way around, and I'm like, now that I'm in, you know, a white country, Australia, generally white country, everybody wants to be tan, everybody's tanning themselves, everybody's, you know, wearing moisturizer that's tinted, not moisturizer that has bleach. A different culture's perspective of beauty. It doesn't matter where you go, there's gonna be something else that's not beautiful about you, or there's something else that's beautiful about you. And whether that's, you know, having curly hair. In Asian culture, we love to have curly hair because everyone's born with straight hair. Where am I going with this? Like, we have to change the way conditioning works. So me being conditioned that white skin was beautiful, and now moving to a white country and being like, oh, tan skin is beautiful because if you're tan, that means you have money to go on holiday, that means you have money to spend time out in the beach and getting tan. Now I have to condition myself to be like, it doesn't matter what you look like. We're not skin deep. Like, we're not skin deep. Who cares about the color of your skin? Who cares about the texture of your hair? What matters is whether you're a good person or not, whether you've got a good mindset, whether you're, you know, a good person, whether you can give. This skin deep stuff shouldn't matter. And when I was young, it really mattered to me. I had to change my own conditioning and be like, why do I care so much about what people perceive me as? Why should I care about whether someone thinks I'm pretty or not? All that matters is whether I think I'm pretty or not, whether I think I'm a good person or not, whether I think I'm beautiful or not. Like, why should I care about what culture I'm in and what they think is beautiful? Why should I care about what my peers think is beautiful? All that matters is if I think I'm beautiful. But this really is a stream of consciousness, and it's kind of like a quarantine version. Also here, change your perspective. So I read this one thing online. There's this person and he complains, oh, I have to drive an hour to go to work. Unbelievable. You're luckier than me. You only have to drive 30 minutes to go to work. And while he's in his car taking an hour to drive to work, there's a cyclist and he's cycling to work and he sees the car and he's like, damn, I just wish I had a car to go to work so I don't have to cycle in the rain, I don't have to cycle in the heat to go to work, right? And then while this man is cycling along heading to work, someone looks at him when they're walking on the pavement and they're like, man, I just wish I had a bike to go to work. I have to walk to go to work every single day. Even if my leg hurts, even if my body hurts, I have to walk. This guy's in a business suit and he's sweating and he's walking to work, right? And then there's someone sitting on the sidewalk. They look at this man and they're like, man, I wish I had work. I wish I had money to pay for a suit. I wish I was even able to work. One of my favorite quotes, quote of the day. I'm gonna start doing quote of the days. So if you want to leave a good quote, leave it down below and I will shout you out in the next video. One quote I like is, don't say, oh, I have to go to work. Say, I get to go to work. If you change even like the way your mind phrases words or the way you speak, you're gonna be able to realize like how much you can actually achieve by changing the way you talk. Instead of me being like, oh, I have to film a video today. In my head, I should say, wow, I get to film a video today. Because even the way you say it is like different from negative to positive. Like, oh, I have to. Oh, I get to go to work. Some people don't have the privilege to even have work. I left something here and it says grass ain't always greener on the other side. So stop thinking I'll be happy if I'm rich. I'll be happy if I get good grades. Like Bob Marley said, if your happiness relies on a number like money, you are never going to find happiness because numbers never end. Numbers are infinite. So if you're like, oh, I'm gonna be happy if I make $100, like, because then once you get the $100, what else is gonna make you happy? Like, you should have no reason to be happy. If you have a reason to be happy, it's like, wow, I'm happy because I'm alive. I literally feel like I'm the happiest person alive, and I know people must get annoyed that I say that a lot, but it's because I'm so grateful for everything I have. Like, literally everything could be falling apart in my life, and I'm like, man, I'm just happy that, you know, I have myself. I'm happy that I have a body that can work. Like, I'm happy that I'm able to breathe. Like, some people, they're not even able to breathe. Some people find it difficult to breathe. Some people don't even have eyes to see. Some people don't have ears to hear. There's no point in to compare yourself and who has it worse, and that's why you should be happier, and that's why you have no reason to be sad because other people have it worse. But you shouldn't think of the reasons that make your life shit, and think of the reasons that make your life good. If you wake up every morning and you're like, wow, like, I'm grateful I woke up, think about how different your day can change. I wrote here, be happy now, you can choose happiness. Happiness is definitely a state of mind. And then I wrote here, meditation, be present. I think in most of my advice videos, I mention about how much meditation can help you stay present. Meditation can also help you feel more grateful, and being in the present moment really just helps like reel you in. And I think with this whole isolation, we have more opportunities to meditate more often, and I'm so grateful that like you guys are even like watching this video. I wrote this quote here as well too. One day you will look back and realize why all of this had to happen. Definitely, like I remember when I got kicked out of high school, I was like, why does this have to happen? I've always been a good student, I've always done my homework, I've always tried my best, I've always been a teacher's pet, like I've always been an overachiever, and I couldn't even finish high school. Why did this have to happen to me? But because I didn't finish high school, I started a YouTube channel, and the video that I posted that made me go viral, that made me have a following, was a video talking about why I left school, why I got kicked out of school. So if I didn't, I wouldn't have all of you guys. I wouldn't have my sunflowers. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have moved to Perth. I wouldn't have met my soulmate, Sunny. This one girl who fucked me over, if she didn't fuck me over, I wouldn't have met Sunny. But at the time, I was like, I don't deserve this. What good is gonna come out of this? Like, there's nothing good that's gonna come out of this. But now I look back, and today's the day where I'm like, all that shit had to happen. All that shit had to happen because now I'm here. And now I'm stronger, and now I'm better, and now I'm happier. Like, you're going through something horrible, and you're like, why do I have to go through this? You know? Another fucking quote I like, don't scream to the world and be like, why me? Be like, try me. Fucking try me. Come at me. Come at me, bro. Try me. Alright, this is getting to a really long tangent of a video. Accept your feelings. You know, don't try to bottle up your feelings. Don't take things personally. I think that's kind of advice that I'm learning to take myself, not to take things personally. You know, if someone is screaming at you at the shopping mall and they're like, can you hurry the fuck up? Why are you walking so slow? And you're like hurt by it, and like instantly, like us anxiety riddled people are like, hey, don't yell at me, like please be nice to me, I'm sensitive. Like, we have to step back and be like, look, this person's having a shit day. Who knows? This person could be going through a divorce. This person could have just lost their child. This person could have just lost their pet. Don't be like, I'm a horrible person. Why did they yell at me? They hate me. Like, you don't have to always take things personally. I think it's important to self-improve and take criticism and grow from it. But if someone's just being a fucking asshole, you don't need to step back and be like, what did I do to them? You know, sometimes people, especially with anger, they feel angry at themselves and they're angry at a situation. And some people, the only way they can kind of like let it out is by taking it out on other people. And I'm definitely guilty of doing that in the past as well too. None of us are perfect. As long as you are learning and practicing not to take everything so personally, that like sometimes I get really hurt when like my mom yells at me, and then sometimes I realize, oh, she didn't have enough sleep, and her not having enough sleep doesn't mean I'm a bad kid. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I think it's nice that people are sensitive to that stuff and do want to be better and do want to change. The world doesn't revolve around you, so you don't have to think like, oh my god, they hate me because I did this and that's why they're moody to me. Or maybe if someone's not replying to you, maybe they're just busy. They're going through a lot and they don't really want to talk. Let's not take that shit personally, honestly. Like, it's so much easier to not give a fuck or be carefree and less careless. Like, we don't need to be careless, but we can be carefree. And so I'm gonna wrap up this video because it's 15 minutes long. I love you guys all so much. Thank you for listening to my stream of consciousness and this really weird rant, and I'm probably gonna film a video for next week as well too, so if I end up, you know, looking the same, it's probably because I filmed it all in one day, but I might change my clothes so you don't notice. Love you guys all so much. Please take care during this time and check up on all of your family members. Bye!